Welcome, gamers, to this week's episode of Last Call Gaming. We're on episode 224. Today is December 31st, New Year's Eve. My name is Craig Perales, and joining me for the final episode of 2025, Mandrew Montemayor.
Hello. We made it.
Hey, we made it. But I just want to touch base with you guys. I know we've been a little behind on some episodes, but usually when it gets to October to December 31st, that's when that's going to get the busiest because we do have a lot of birthdays that kick in. Thanksgiving, again, happy birthday to Andrew. His birthday was recently. Christmas, New Year's. So there's a lot of stuff we had to do. I know, Andrew, you went out of town with some family. Me, Geno, and Sam went to Las Vegas to go see Wizard of Oz in the Sphere. So there's a lot of kind of last minute trips. So I know our episodes have been a little bit behind, but hopefully creeping back into the new year, we get back on topic, back on track. Andrew and I have already talked about doing more remote stuff if we need it, but since it has been kind of all over the place, you've been doing well? Did you have a good Christmas? Did you have good presents?
Yeah, I've been traveling a lot because my dad lives like 4 hours away, so I've been going back and forth a lot. And this year, I wasn't like crazy about presents. I didn't want anything anyway, so I'm like, okay, like it's my first year with a kid.
See my brother.
Yeah, so I'm all about my son right now and getting him like all these little things, even though he's not gonna remember them. We're just sitting there just helping him tear the paper, and sometimes you get a good rip and you get excited and stuff. So I'm just doing the dad thing.
Excellent. Yeah, so guys,
it's the best gift I could have this year.
It's the only gift I'm looking forward to getting myself. So, with that being said, guys, hope you guys were safe. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully you had a good Christmas, and hopefully you plan on being safe for the new year, New Year's Eve. Make sure you, drink responsibly. We used to do beers all the time. We don't so much anymore, but it's been a New Year's tradition that Andrew and I usually always have something. We decided to go with the Kona Big Wave and, Jack and Coke, so it might be a little spicy this episode.
I love a good wave, bro.
A good wave.
So guys, wave's so good.
It's the best, and I had to get them in glass too. You like glass over can, right?
Yeah, I don't like drinking.
Okay, perfect. So, with that being said, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. If you guys are interested in following us on our social media, our Linktree link is in the description. You can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on X, which we need to start doing more with. I've been looking at some of our posts. They're like months apart, so we will try to be more active on that. And if you guys are listening to the audio-only version of this podcast, you can find us on your podcast platform of choice. So, to get started, guys, I do want to start with off the top, where it's just a couple of light things that I wanted to bring up before we dive into what we're going to be getting into. And again, this is the end of the year episode where we don't really hit such big news stories. We just kind of take a few questions and just kind of relax and have a few beers. But I did want to point out that the best-selling game of the year of 2025 was Battlefield 6, and I thought it was a really cool thing. I wanted to make sure, I didn't know if Andrew knew that, so I'll read this real quick and you can kind of tell me your thoughts. The best-selling game, and this may have been changed, but the last time I looked, this was accurate. The best-selling games of 2025 based on data through November include Battlefield 6, which was the number one, NBA 20K26, and Monster Hunter Wilds, with Call of Duty Black Ops 7 dominating November sales, but ranking lower year-to-date due to Game Pass. Other top sellers feature annual sports titles like Madden NFL 26 and EA Sports FC 26, alongside major releases like Borderlands 4, Ghost of Yotei, and surprisingly still Minecraft. So I thought that was kind of cool. I know a lot of people were interested in seeing what Battlefield was going to do, because it's not a Call of Duty where it comes out annually. And I know some of them have been hit or miss, but this does seem to be the Battlefield that's, I don't want to say so much returning to form, but getting the people back that played it before, and it's doing exceptionally well. And to be the best-selling game of 2025, I mean, I know Game Pass does take away from games like Call of Duty, which in other ways may have been the best-selling game, but Battlefield 6 nonetheless did its job.
Player count's still down on Call of Duty. I was just reading something about it earlier. So, no, Battlefield is that good, especially if you like Battlefield. There's some stuff yet to be desired on there, but it's still really, really good. I play it all the time. As many of you guys know on the show, I used to play Warzone every single day. I have not played Warzone since I think like October, probably since this dropped. I've actually been playing either Battlefield or I play Red Sec or like another multiplayer game or something else.
Oh, we still need to finish the campaign. I totally forgot about that.
But I am not playing Warzone. Call of Duty, just too big to fail. And I do want to bring up, and I don't want to get too deep into it because there's still more stuff coming out with it, and we don't really like to talk too much about some of that stuff. But rest in peace to Vince Zampella.
Yep.
As many of you know, started Infinity War, did Modern Warfare, Titanfall, but he was actually the lead person behind taking the reins over Battlefield and was up until Battlefield 6, and he recently just passed away. I think it was like a week ago or so in a car accident. So unfortunately, that's really, really sad, especially after coming off of something that was so good, because how many times has Battlefield been in the position to overtake Call of Duty, even if it's just for 1 year, and they just dropped the ball, and it seems like they finally just really got it nailed down, at least enough to, okay, like, we're here, and now we know what to do to get to here, though, and we're gonna, execute perfectly. And it's just huge blow, and I know a huge blow to the community.
Yeah, it's a bummer. You never want to lose talent, especially talent that seems to be in a stride moving forward. So, unfortunately, that happened, but fortunately enough, Battlefield 6 did become the best-selling game. So if you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you do so. Anything else on Battlefield?
No, go play it if you haven't.
Go play it if you haven't. The other thing I wanted to bring up, too, is that Fallout Season 2 just dropped. So if you guys haven't caught up on it, make sure you do now. If you're unfamiliar with it, in a future post-apocalyptic Los Angeles brought about by nuclear decimation, citizens must live in underground bunkers to protect themselves from radiation, mutants, and bandits. Now, it's obviously based off the games, and Season 1 came out a year or so ago, and it did really well. So I wanted to just see how Fallout 2 is going, because if you want to see where to watch it, it's on Amazon, and as of right now, there's 3 episodes. So Fallout Season 2 debuted very well, receiving generally favorable reviews from critics with high scores on Rotten Tomatoes, around 95 to 100%, and Metacritic, with reviewers calling it authentic, expanded, and strong continuation of the successful first season, especially praising its journey to New Vegas and character development, because I know that's what a lot of people were excited for, was the Fallout New Vegas. I've only seen the first episode, and it was great. It picks up right where it left off. There's lots of cool killing. The banter between everyone's still there. I haven't I haven't seen the other 2 episodes yet, but from what I'm hearing, it's supposed to be fantastic. Andrew, have you started it yet, or are you waiting for them all to build up?
I think I'm going to wait for them to drop and binge it, because surprisingly, I haven't really seen any spoilers, or normally that's instantly on YouTube. It's, here's
like Stranger Things
when this happens and this and that, and thankfully there hasn't been anything, so I'm like, okay, like if there's already 3 out and I haven't seen anything, I can probably just ride the lightning so I could just binge them all at once.
Excited that it's doing well, or did you think maybe its sophomore year into its seasons would be maybe falling down?
I'm super excited if it's doing well, because I know that's really hard to do, especially after how well received the first one was. The first one was so good that it would be something really hard to follow up. So I'm glad it looks like they nailed it, and I am super excited to see what they're going to do in New Vegas, because I personally love New Vegas.
Fantastic. Yeah, so that's just quick reminders, guys. What was the best-selling game, and Fallout, if you haven't started it yet, that it is out now if you want to start. So we're going to get into what are you up to, and then we'll save the questions for the end of the episode. So what are you up to is when Andrew and I take a second to talk about what we've been playing and what we've been watching. So Andrew, my friend, what have you been up to?
I finished Outer Worlds 2. It was okay. I feel like I really like the first one a whole lot more. That even on this one, normally with these games too, I'll always go through and do like the side stories, but I kind of just got like burnt out a little bit. That I was like, this just doesn't seem like that interesting, and there's like a couple different factions you could do some stuff with that I just skipped them, and I never do that. Normally I'll play them through and then decide whoever and then do whatever for my ending, or I'll try to do everything all at once. That I was like, dude, I'm just over this, because I feel like it's such a slog for me right now that I just ran straight through.
Are you glad you finished it at least though, or is it something you almost wanted to stop halfway through?
I almost kind of stopped. I was like, do I even want to finish this? Like, I kind of just really don't care for what's happening. I don't know what it is, because it really just did not hit for me. I think it just comes down to maybe the story and some of the areas where you're at. And I like a lot of the combat stuff feels a lot better than number 1. But for whatever reason, like, that just was not enough to keep me engaged. So I'm just like, bro, like, I am just not feeling this. Yeah, especially towards the end, there's like this kind of, I'll just call it like a dungeon. It's just this longer area that you're kind of going through for like a mission. And I'm like, dude, why is this so long? This feels like this is just never ending, and they're just throwing like a million enemies into this one area just because it's like a final area versus... I don't know. I don't remember the first one being like that, but I also remember talking my way through a lot of the first one, and I kind of tried to do a lot of that this one. But even after a while, I was like, I don't want to sit here and scavenge for bullets or anything like that anymore. That I just started upgrading my melee, and I was just beating everything's brains out.
I'm really looking forward to it then. What have you been watching?
After I did that, though, I did start Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. For those of you who don't know, if you own the original, you can upgrade to the director's cut. It's $15, and it comes with it's the same achievements, but you can double dip, and it's a whole set. So you have to start over from the beginning, but it is one of my favorite games of all time, so I'm excited to do that again.
Sweet.
As far as watching anything, I did start watching Welcome to Derry. I think I'm on like episode 7 out of 8, and I really like it a lot. Is
that the It show?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
And for those of you that aren't familiar, that is the show based on Stephen King's novel, It, and it is related. I don't know if it's... I guess I would have to look it up, because, I mean, the characters are saying that I don't know if this is supposed to be in movie world or in novel world, because it seems like it's more in novel, but... I don't know. Either way, it's good. I think it's a good adaptation. I think the weakest thing about it, if you watch any of it, is it's kind of maybe some of the same issues they had with a little bit of the movie, where some of the CGI just looks very, like, low-budget cheese, and I'm just like, it's not enough to take me out. But as far as, like, the storytelling, I like the cast.
Is it the same guy playing It?
Yeah, Bill Skarsgård.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's playing Pennywise, and again, it's not like he's in there every episode, or they're just, like, throwing him at you, so that way you're like, okay, well... It's that classic, the more you see something, the less you're kind of scared of it. There's just, like, a lot of different things in here, and I really enjoyed a lot, and I think it does a good balancing act of, because I know with, like, even the original movie and the newer movies, a lot of people will say once you hit the adult section of it, it kind of loses its steam a little bit, because the kids are far more interesting, but kids are afraid of a lot of different things that adults aren't, so maybe that's where you could kind of play around with that a lot more. But they do a good job of tying this into, like, his other novels. Like, they mentioned stuff about, like, Shawshank or The Shining. There's all kinds of different things in here, and there's some stuff that maybe I'm not too crazy about, but I'll reserve my judgment until I finish wrapping it up. But so far, I am really liking it.
What's it, Aaron? What's it playing on?
HBO Max.
On HBO Max. Okay.
Yeah,
cool,
there's 8 episodes, and they are all out.
Yeah, because I finally watched It Chapter 1, and we're gonna start It Chapter 2. And then the show takes place, it's a prequel though, right?
It's 28 years before.
Before, okay.
Yeah, so, because Pennywise goes on his massacres or whatever, and then there's usually a big massacre of something, and then he sleeps for 27 years. A world Jeepers Creepers, if you will. And so, this is before he wakes up for that one. How'd you like the movie?
Well, it sucks if you're saying this, because I remember the old Tim Curry ones, but if you're saying that it gets a little slower with the adults, dude, the kids were awesome, dude.
Yeah.
They're hilarious. The way they were busting each other's balls and busting each other's chops was fantastic. So I actually really did like it. It's just, I think we were watching them in October, and then once we kind of fell out of Halloween, we kind of fell off of it, but I do want to finish it, so.
You should.
Nice, man, nice. As far as what I've been watching, I started Spartacus, The House of Asher, which is premiered on Starz with its first few episodes out. It aired on December 5th of 2025, with episodes releasing on Fridays, and it's going to run into, I believe, January 30th of 2026. I just watched the newest episode today. I think that's episode 5 or 6. And it's actually doing pretty well. Debuted very well, scoring high with critics, around 90 to 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, for its exciting action, strong performances, especially Nick Tarabay as Asher, which, dude, that's one of our favorite guys. When Andrew and I used to watch the original Spartacus, dude, he has not aged a day.
Yeah.
And he is hands down one of the best parts. Now, I know a lot of people were having issues with the new character Achillea, who's now a black slave who becomes a gladiator, and to each their own. I get it, if whatever reason, whatever. But when they finally introduce her, why she comes into the storyline, why Asher wants her, what the reasoning is behind it, you're instantly just like, oh yeah, dude, it's perfect. It couldn't be any other way. Now, I don't know if this is a spoiler for anybody, but a lot of people were wondering, well, how does the show even exist if
I was going to ask you
Asher dies in the show? So I hope you don't consider this a spoiler. It happens. It's the first 10 seconds of the show, which explains exactly what happens. He ends up, it goes back and he goes on the hill and he ends up getting decapitated. What happens is once he arrives in the underworld, I forget, was it Lucretia? What was Zena's character? Lucretia, she's there. She's in the underworld.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I get her and the other girl mixed up. She's in the underworld with her dead baby, and she's saying that the god, that he lost favor from the gods, whatever, but he's offered a chance to see what would happen if he didn't die, and he actually was able to help defeat Spartacus. So they kind of reverse time a little bit. Instead of when he kills Caesar, Asher throws a spear, and he's the one that kills Spartacus. So when Asher wakes up, he's been rewarded with Batiatus' Ludus, and that's how the show starts. So it's a little bit of underworld, a little bit of godlike stuff in it, but it's an alternate reality.
I think I would love that as far as, like, if that's the only thing that's like that, just to set it up.
Just to set it up.
That's cool. Don't show me anything else like that the rest of the show. Yeah, that's cool. I could do that.
So, yeah, that's the first 10 seconds, and it's, I mean, whether you like that or not, it's there, and it's awesome, man. The storylines are great. Seeing all the new gladiators is awesome. The conversation, the way they speak is poetry in motion, dude. It's like listening to Shakespeare stuff. It's very well. What sucks is a lot of people don't have stars, because I know a lot of people were having an issue trying to find it.
I don't have stars. That's why I
mine's bundled in with my Amazon. So if you do want to just watch it for, I mean, maybe wait till it's all done, bundle it for a month, knock out the 10 episodes, whatever it's going to be.
That's what I was going to do.
And then take it out. But yeah, I highly recommend Asher. Every episode's been fantastic. All the new characters that you get to meet and the new types of battles they're doing are fantastic. And the sex is just as strong as it was in the past. So if you get a chance to watch it, definitely do. As far as what I've been playing, I started this game called Bye Sweet Carol. It's a narrative horror adventure game completely hand-drawn in the style of classic animated films. Follow the trail of missing Carol Simmons and uncover the dark secret hidden behind her disappearances from Bunny Hall Orphanage. It's on every platform. It came out on October 9th, 2025, so it is a this year game. It's a platform game, puzzle, action, adventure game. Now, if you're watching the YouTube version of the show, it looks like old school Disney, and like old school Snow White, Cinderella, but there's a really big horror element, and you're constantly getting chased around. I thought it was going to be more action platformy to kind of escape different villains, but it is a lot more puzzle centric, where you actually have to go find cranks on level 2, get back down there, put it back in, start these fires, all while getting chased and trying not to get killed. One of the achievements, there's two different ways to play it. One is, there's like you might like it, there's a speed run version of it, there's a no dying version of it, but one of them is to be killed by everything that's possible of killing you. So I'm watching a YouTube video and I'm making sure that I keep making sure I don't miss anything. And the kills are pretty hilarious.
I did do that for something else. I don't remember what it was. I think it was like Dead Space or something.
Okay, go back through and do that. Yeah, so it's a really cool game. I'm having a lot of fun with it. If you guys get a chance to check it out, make sure you do so. So I think that's everything that we've been up to, guys. Leave down in the comments below what you've been up to, what you've been playing, and what you've been watching. So with that down and out of the way, guys, let's get into our questions of the week. Now, guys, if you want to leave questions that Andrew and I can answer on the show, you can do so a few different ways. You can leave us comments on the YouTube section, and we can grab them there. You can email us at lastcallproductions@gmail.com. We can snag them there, or you can find me on social media at Craig Perales, and we can take them there. So the first question comes from Michael S., and they write, the Game Awards, have come. What do you think of the winner, and what were some of the highlights that stood out to you? So Andrew and I were going to have earlier we're going to have an episode that was based on the Game Awards, but since we weren't able to do that, we were just going to go over a couple of highlights and then talk about the winner. Obviously, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, congrats to all the winners. It took home the Game of the Year, very well deserved so, considering the list that it was up against. However, I wanted to bring this up to your attention. Did you see that recently it was disqualified from the Indie Game Awards for an undisclosed generative AI? So outside of the Game Awards, it won Best Indie and Debut Indie in the Indie Awards, but because of some generative AI that they found out afterwards, it actually disqualified for it. So it reverted back to the Game of the Year ended up being where did I have it right here? It was Blueprints, and then I forget there was another game that got Debut Indie. Now that didn't take away from the Game Awards, but did you hear about any of this controversy, and how do you feel about it?
I've seen people complaining about it, and as well you should, especially in games, but I think they had said afterwards that it was not for anything major. That I think it was for maybe like plotting points, or maybe it was for like small textures or something like that. So it wasn't anything major. It wasn't voice, wasn't story, combat, nothing like that. That game kind of does have like a cool little overworld map that if they had everything plotted out and they're like, okay, insert trees here and here, and it was just something like that for, the little pass that you take, I guess I don't mind some of that, because I guess that just sounds kind of like a little busy work, but I don't work in the industry that I can't say, well, you should or shouldn't do something like that, because to me, that doesn't sound like a big deal, but again, I don't make video games, so I couldn't say whether that is or is not a big deal.
So I'm reading here, because I was just kind of curious of what it was. It says, players originally spotted AI-generated textures, such as in-game newspapers and posters, shortly after the game's April 2025 release. Sandfall removed these via a hotfix within 5 days, replacing them with human-made assets. So I'm not sure the extent of it and what else was all fixed, but it seems like they have done their best to do so. And who knows if maybe it was something that was forgotten that was in there, maybe something that was used
as a placeholder
or something like that. But nonetheless, I thought it was worth bringing up that it did lose a Game of the Year in another venue, but it did win Game of the Year for the Game Awards, which is kind of the biggest one we like to keep our eye on.
I was like, it didn't just win; it's won the most awards.
It won the most. It was like 9 out of 11, or how many was it?
I have it here. I think it was 11 out of 13 because you don't count the one that people don't count is the Player's Choice Award, and that one was some mobile game that a bunch of I would assume
Gooners.
They said it was because it's a Chinese developed game, so you would assume China just flooded it. But I kept watching. I'm like, it wasn't nominated for 13 awards. How did they come up with this number? How do they keep losing whatever? So I don't really get, because they didn't lose anything besides that one that I could tell. And then I think the one they did lose was Best Sound, and that was to Battlefield. But the other ones that they lost was because they were nominated 3 different times in the same category, so it lost to itself.
Oh,
so I was like, at the end, I was like, oh, okay, that was driving me crazy the whole time, because they had 3 nominations for Best Voice Actor, and then I think the Voice of Mael won, so technically the other 2 lost. But I was like, oh, okay, that makes so much more sense. That's why I could not figure it out. But congrats to them. They deserve it. It was such a good game.
Yeah, it was a really good game, and it rebrought, not so much rebrought people back into JRPGs, but I think it put JRPGs back on the map for people that just never were really into it. It does have a very unique style. I was talking with Denny about it, and I know he really wanted to check it out, because Denny likes to at least play the most current and games to be involved in the conversation. But it does have that rhythmic kind of style of defense, and that really isn't for everybody. I'm not saying you shouldn't give it a chance. There's players like Aaron Castro who, he's a big RPG guy too, but it takes a minute to kind of get used to. But so if it is for you, check it out. If not, I don't know, maybe watch a compilation of video to at least get the story, because it is a really cool, interesting story.
Yeah, you can at least watch that. I do that for some games, so I'm like, okay, I'm not feeling... Funny you bring that up. I literally just did that for Lord of Shadow the other day, or Lords of the Fallen, excuse me. Lords of the Fallen, so I'm like, dude, I just could not get into this, even though it's like Dark Souls. Everything seems like it's really cool. It's just not clicking for me. Then I'm like, okay, I'll just watch a little movie thing, the movie, what they call it, on YouTube. And I was like, okay, cool.
There you go. So congrats to Claire Obscure. As far as some of the highlights, one that Andrew and I both kind of agreed on, at least to talk about, was the new Street Fighter movie. The live-action Street Fighter movie scheduled to hit theaters in the United States on October 16th, 2026, serving as a reboot for the film series with an all-star cast, including a bunch of names. I'm not going to go through all 30 people, but they did go on stage. They did have everybody on stage except for 50 Cent.
Yeah.
And they cracked a joke about Mortal Kombat not being at the Game Awards. Now, when you see it, there's some people that were talking about it saying they don't like the way it looks, because it's got a very interesting aesthetic. But if I'm not understanding it correctly, that trailer was made specifically to look like Street Fighter 2, right? Like the color palette and all that stuff. A lot of people are like, oh, it looks like a joke. Like some people I watch on YouTube, they're like, oh, this looks like somebody made it on their phone. Obviously you're looking at Cody Rhodes' Guile and a couple other people. But as far as I know, that whole trailer was designed to look like the old arcade game.
If it looks like that in the movie, I'm fine with it. I thought it looked good. There's some things that, maybe threw me off a little bit, like Cody Rhodes' Guile because his hair, but Guile does have really long hair. I think the only thing out of all of them that just, I don't want to say bug me, but if I'm gonna nitpick something, is, I don't remember the dude's name, but he's Polka Dot Man in Suicide Squad. But
the guy that plays Bison.
Because he does not look intimidating like Bison, whereas Bison
David is Dashmaklian,
a big
formidable foe.
Yeah, or even Raul Julia's. He just commands that presence,
that charismaticness.
Yeah, and I love him as that. That when I seen him, I was like, that just seems like a little bit weak. But as far as the rest of it looks, I'm like, you know what? Obviously, some of these other game movies maybe didn't do...
I think you said game movies.
Some of these other game movies haven't done so good by trying to make a realistic depiction that what's it matter if they want to go, okay, well, they went one direction, we're just going to go the other and make it that over-the-top video gaming movie, because I feel like that's what some of these are missing, is just something like this if you take it too serious, it's just a fighting tournament. Like, it's fun. It's meant to be fun. That's how you have all these, like, crazy people. That's why Guile can have the long, stupid hair and nobody complains about it. It's because it's just fun.
I think I'm gonna complain more about his lisp than his hair, because I'm pretty sure Cody Rhodes does that lisp on purpose. I don't even think he talks like that in real life.
As long as he doesn't talk like Jean-Claude Van Damme in the first one, I'm fine.
Yeah, because as far as who you got on there, man, the guy Oliver Richards playing Zangief. If you guys watched Reacher, he's the big German dude, Russian dude, whatever that Alan Richardson fights. Jason Momoa is Blanca. The three playing Chun-Li, Ken, and Ryu look awesome. I mean, the movie looks fun, especially when they're throwing in things where, like, they're punching the car and things like that. So I think it looks fine. I think if we see another trailer, then I'm going to see if the aesthetic changes at all, because I do think there was a lot to do to remind you of the Street Fighter arcade game.
I don't want it to change.
I don't mind it either, but I'm thinking I want to know where they stand on it. So Street Fighter was definitely a big highlight. Andrew, I know when we wanted to do the show originally, we had a lot more things we wanted to go over, but what were some other highlight trailers that stood out for you?
A really big one, even though it's just something small, but it is nice to see, especially since the other one seems like it's maybe in, like, development now, is Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic. I never really got to play those, so I was excited when they announced that remake that has not come to fruition and just hasn't gone anywhere. And I'm excited for something more Star Wars that isn't just a shooter. And as much as I like Jedi Survivor, those are really cool too. I just want something different, and this hopefully will give that to me.
Yeah, I was curious on that one too, because the new studio for it is being developed by Argonaut Studios, and my only hesitation on it is that I'm pretty sure they're a brand new studio, and this is going to be their first game. Is that right?
Yeah, but I when you see a lot of people, Claire Obscura, that was like their first game too, and so when you see, there's been so many others that are really good at doing stuff for the first time, or even the Dead Space remake was made by a studio that doesn't do stuff like that, and that was one of your favorite games of the years. That I don't even judge people anymore. Be like, okay, this is their first game. I'm worried. That's the furthest thing.
Well, I'm worried for the sense that there's so many Star Wars games that get canceled all the time, that come and go, where I'm like, please don't let this be another one, because now it's a new Star Wars Lucasfilm game, brand new studio. All they have right now is that trailer, and it's supposed to be out by next year, I think. So my hesitation is just like, man, this looks cool. Please don't not come to fruition.
Yeah, if you mean that versus quality wise, then
yeah, because that trailer looked really, really cool. Oh, what just happened? Oh, okay. So as far as what caught my eye was Control Resident. It was announced at the Game Awards and launching in 2026 for every system. Shifting to a larger open-ended action RPG with melee combat focused on Jesse Faden's brother Dylan, exploring a warped Manhattan during a cosmic crisis. Now, Control, the original Control, fantastic game. I know, Andrew, you played it a couple years after.
Yeah, I played it.
You ended up loving it too, right?
Yeah, it was really good.
One of the biggest shifts though that they're doing is that this one looks more like it's going to be an action RPG game compared to the more power-induced game that Control 1 was.
And shooting.
I don't have an issue with that. I do like that obviously these games all take place in the same world with Alan Wake and Control and all that stuff. I know some people were having an issue that it did shift because one of the draws to Control was the style that it had. But you got to remember, Remedy changes their games a bit from every one of them. Alan Wake 1 and 2 aren't quite the same. And even Control had that other, I don't know if it's been canceled or if they've taken offline. But was it Firebreak? What was the online shooting game that they had?
Oh,
they had something else too.
I can't remember what it is.
So I think, I don't know. To me, it looks more like the kind of game I want to play. But I know a lot of people are, so it moves from the original third-person shooting to a melee-focused action RPG with more open-ended exploration. To me, that's fine. I mean, because it's a different character, it's a different game. But was that anything that kind of rubs you the wrong way?
It definitely just is more action-oriented. It seems like it's very melee-focused. But I thought it looked good. I'm stoked for it because this is something I never thought I would see. I thought they would just move on from Control because I remember... Well, there was like a big thing saying that they made Control for cheaper, but it still didn't kind of reach the numbers that they wanted it to reach. So it seemed like they were never really going to do anything else with it. But I do know it is a game that a lot of people like that maybe just didn't hit those unrealistic quotas maybe that I never thought in a million years that we would see that, let alone this. And I actually thought this would have been a far better ender than what ended up being the ending for the show.
What was it? What was the ender?
It was that one weird. It's just like that fantasy shooter,
High Guard or something.
Yeah, I didn't care for that at all.
Well, I do want to point out too that they're not calling this Control 2 either. It's Control Resonance. So that's not to say Control 2, if there is a number 2, won't be the same. But just for the story's sake, it's set 7 years after the first game. You play as Dylan Faden wielding a shape-shifting weapon as he searches for his sister Jessie amidst a supernatural takeover of Manhattan. So for me, as much as I love Control 1, the Control Resonant looks awesome, and the style looks more in place set for me than going back to a third-person action shooter. But that definitely caught my eye.
My other one, the really, really big one for me, is we saw the debut of Toshihiro Nagoshi's new game. And for those of you who don't know who that is the person who created and helmed Yakuza for a really long time. He left Sega, I think it was like in 2021, and they were kind of seemed like they wanted him to be in a CEO position, or at least that's what the word was, and he wanted to be more hands-on with creating the games, so he just left, and we haven't heard anything from him since. He got picked up by NetEase, and then was able to make his own studio. He dropped a trailer for his game called Gang of Dragon, and it looks pretty much like a Yakuza, but upon looking at more stuff, it does seem like it's very different. Like, the way you throw grenades, the way you shoot, the fighting kind of seems like it, but there's other stuff that you could look at that they put out afterwards. Like, you can have, like, a car and I think put, like, guns on your car and stuff. So it seems more like it might be, like, a Sleeping Dogs or maybe, like, a Grand Theft Auto or something like that. But it had that extremely Yakuza vibe. It looked really, really good. I don't know the guy's name. I've only seen him in a few other things, like Train to Busan and stuff. But they use that Korean actor. He's very famous, really big dude. He kind of almost looks like Wong from
Ed Wong, dude, or whatever his name is. Yeah,
yeah. He almost looks like him. But either way, that trailer, I was like, dude, this is so good. It looks so good, and I think it's nice to have something out there to compete with what Yakuza's kind of doing, because they have their next game. They have only announced it, but they haven't put out a date yet. Stranger Than Heaven. So it'd be cool to kind of, maybe drive competition and see, like, okay, like, was the series really all you? Are you just the one hit wonder? Or are you going to kill it with this and maybe they'll kill it with that? Or maybe it won't do so well. And that's when people are going to realize, almost like Konami without Hideo Kojima. Like, they really haven't done too much, because it was clear that he was a creative talent and director. And that's good. That's going to be the next conversation if they do make another Metal Gear or something like that. Like, okay, like, are you guys anything without Hideo, or was he really just a driving force and you don't have much without him?
Yep. And it looked good to me, so I'm looking forward to that. The other game that caught my eye, and again, there was plenty to go over, but these are just some of the highlights, was their new Tomb Raider bundle that they had coming out. Well, not bundle, the 2 games that were coming. The next Tomb Raider games are Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, which is a reimagining of the 1996 debut, and an all-new adventure, Tomb Raider Catalyst, set for 2027, both from Amazon Game Studios and using Unreal Engine, featuring actress Alex Wilton Reagan as Lara Croft. Catalyst will explore ancient secrets in northern India following the mythical cataclysm, while Legacy of Atlantis serves as a modern retelling of Laura's origin story. Now, Catalyst, obviously, it's not going to be for another 2 years, but seeing Legacy of Atlantis, man, we and Andrew have talked about it before. We're living in, like, the golden age of reimaginings, remakes, reboots of games, and the moment you see, because this was a game my dad played on PlayStation, so that's why I've always had love for the Tomb Raider, watching him play, but watching it newly done, and seeing, like, the dinosaur chasing her again, and seeing the backflips, and seeing the jumping, it gets kind of weird that there's so many different versions of Tomb Raider that keep coming out, but to remake Legacy of Atlantis, which I don't know if that's what the first Tomb Raider was called. I just remember it being called Tomb Raider.
I think it was just Tomb Raider, and I think retroactively.
It's like a New Hope being Star Wars.
Yeah, I think so.
So, but for me, I thought it looked fantastic. The way Lara Croft always gets criticism for the way she looked at it. She too hot? Is she ugly in some?
Over-sexualized.
I think she looks fantastic in this game. And it's definitely a game I'm going to be buying my dad. It's definitely going to be a game I'm going to be getting day one. Catalyst is a little, you can't really say too much about it because we can't really see much. And it's not for another 2 years. It was cool that they kind of said, hey, we're doing 2 games. Here's one for next year. Here's one for the year afterwards. But how did you think Legacy of Atlantis looked?
I'm lukewarm on it.
Lukewarm?
Yeah, because I really liked what Crystal Dynamics was doing, even though I know the third one wasn't really loved, but I really liked the other, the first two.
But that's not taken away from that series,
well, yeah, I know,
right?
but I wanted more of that versus what this kind of is, and maybe I just need to get back into, okay, I don't want to say, less realistic, but maybe more over the top, with the dinosaurs and something, because we weren't really getting that for a long time, but I liked the direction it was going in. Now I'm like, okay, again, maybe I need to see more, and maybe I'll love it once I play it. I think I just don't want to overhype myself and then hate it because the last ones were really good.
Really, really good. So, guys, there was tons to look at the Game Awards. Is there anything you want to throw out, any honorable mentions or anything, or are we good?
No, we're good. Definitely go check it out if you want to.
All right. Now, I have this other question, but I think I'm going to save it for our first episode of next year, and we'll just do our final question and call it a year. So, this last question comes from Jessica Moe, who writes us in, I think, almost every year. And she says, same question as always. What was your favorite movie you saw this year at home or in theater? And what was your favorite news show you watched this year? Andrew, what have you been watching? Anything catch your eye this massive 2025?
I've been so busy with the baby, I haven't watched too much. So the couple things I do have, as far as movies go, I really liked Ballerina. I thought it wasn't going to be good. I know some people were kind of down on it. I thought it was a really good addition to
I loved it. You got me into watching
saga.
it. It was fantastic.
Yeah. I think maybe I was a little worried about it after, what was that show? The Continental.
I hated it.
And I didn't watch it. I remember you saying something about it. I was like, okay, I'll go into this a little skeptical. It was really good. I wouldn't put it above any of the others, but I would also put it right up there with the other movies. So that movie was actually really good. And as far
did you watch Ballerina in theater, you said, or you streamed it?
No, I watched it at home.
At home, okay.
Yeah, I don't think we went to the theater. I haven't been to the theater at all this year.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. As far as watching TV, it's actually kind of been for animated series for me this year. Castlevania Nocturne. I forgot that was
this year?
That was the season 2 was the start of this year, and that was really, really good. A big one that I know you love too, Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry was really, really
fantastic.
Good. I love that this year. And then the return of King of the Hill was also
this
year.
Man,
so
bangers.
Those 3 for me, I feel like were some really big ones that stuck out to me, especially since I don't think I watched Nocturne right when it came out. I think I waited a little bit and then kind of watched it, so I sat on it. And maybe I just had a better experience for it, that I wasn't caught up in all the hype or the negativity about, they're doing this or doing that. I really enjoyed it.
That's actually, I didn't know you had those, some goodies. As far as my favorite show was, and I love The House of Asher, and I'm sure by the time it's done, it'll be my favorite show, but it's not done yet. So, this thing may flop. So for a show that did come and actually finish was Daredevil Born Again, which is a continuation from the original ones that were on Netflix. Now, originally it was supposed to be its own separate thing, but after Kevin Feige came back in, they decided to attach it to the original Daredevil because it had the same Vincent D'Onofrio in it. It had John Bernthal as Punisher, and again, now it started off really well. Daredevil Born Again had a strong debut, becoming Disney Plus's biggest premiere of 2025 with 7.5 million views in its first 5 days, according to Disney. And early actions were glowing, praising its gritty tone, intense action, and it was, and some calling it the best in the MCU series yet. Now, I think it did kind of fade off towards the end. How
many episodes was it? Wasn't it a lot?
No, I thought it was going to be more, but they ended up cutting them. It wasn't less than 8, I think, and it was supposed to be 12 or something like that.
Maybe I thought it was higher. I thought it was 15.
I think they cut it in half, and they're using the next half for season 2.
Oh,
so okay. I think that's what they were. Yeah, it was supposed to be a lot higher, but I think they cut it. And then now in the middle, there's going to be a Punisher movie that I think kind of connects the gaps between them. But it was fantastic. If you have Disney Plus, give it a go. It was awesome seeing Charlie Cox back as Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin.
as Gustav.
As Gustav. Yeah. So I would say that has been my favorite show. As far as my favorite movie goes, and there's a lot of bangers. You had, Superman was really, really good. But Sinners for me, because I did go to the theaters a couple times, and Sinners was surprisingly well. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their Mississippi hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. Now, this came out on April 18th, 2025. Me and Sam saw it in theater. Dude, there's a couple of did you end up watching it on streaming service on HBO Max, I believe, if you want to watch it. But the musical numbers in it, like especially when they're at the bar and when he starts doing that kind of Irish little jig at the end in theaters, man, when that was bumping, there was people getting up out of their seats and dancing. So it was fantastic, and a big shout out to Ryan Coogler too, because in a world where we're getting a lot of remakes and people are saying there's no original ideas in Hollywood, this is a completely original idea, not based off of anything. I mean, you can say it's got hints of like From Dusk Till Dawn, because it's got the vampire and and these two gangsters that are running this bar. Sure, but it's not based on anything. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 97%, Metacritic at 84. Horror action drama movie. I thought it was great. As far as streaming goes, one movie I didn't see in theaters, but it might be up for one of the best pictures, is F1 the movie. That's the movie with Brad Pitt, and I forget the other guy's name because he's kind of brand new to the scene. Joshua Pierce. I was talking with Denny about it, and he finally ended up watching it. It's a great movie, man. We live in this era where there's not really any more Hollywood branded movie stars anymore, and Brad Pitt, I'd argue, is one of the last of that dying breed. The Rock's kind of a guy like that as well. But this movie's fantastic. Javier Bardem's in it. It's a lot of fun. Obviously it's like a fictional racing story about him coming in to help out with the Formula One, but it's like a 2-hour something movie. So I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, good. I'm glad I'm streaming it instead of going to theaters. It's almost like 3 hours, but it was a lot of fun. So if you get a chance to check it out, I think that is on Amazon Prime as well. So that's what I was watching for my shows, and then those are 2 movies, one I saw in theaters, one I saw on streaming. So, that is it, guys. And again, I have another question from Josh Tanner, but we'll answer that on the next episode, just because hey, it's New Year's Eve and we got things to do and places to go. So guys, that is the end of episode 224. Leave down in the comments below, guys, what you've been watching, what you've been playing. Make sure you're safe. Make sure you guys have a fun New Year's Eve, guys. Until next year, Andrew and I will see you on episode 225, guys. So till next year, my name is Craig Perales. Oh, and one more shout out before we do it. Our next episode, Andrew and I will be doing our top games of 2025. So you guys can make sure you check that out for the beginning of January. And then we'll get into our most anticipated games for 2026. And then I think we'll jump back into an official episode of 225. Does that sound right?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
It sounds good to him, guys. So until next year, I'm Craig Perales. That is Mandrew Montemayor. Cheers.
See you guys out there.